Monday, March 4th, 2002. A Chinook helicopter drops a small team of Navy SEALs and one Air Force combat controller onto a snow-covered mountain in eastern Afghanistan. Their mission: rescue a brother who had fallen from a helicopter hours earlier. But the second their boots hit the ground, the mountain erupted. Al-Qaeda fighters dug into bunkers above them, opened up with PKMs, RPGs, and Dushka heavy machine guns. But through that chaos, one man pushed uphill, alone. The Airman trudged through waist-deep snow, straight into the gunfire. When the SEALs finally pulled back, he was left behind, motionless. Just then, a Predator drone circling high above captured something unbelievable. He moved, bleeding, freezing, and surrounded. That combat controller stood back up and kept fighting. What happened next would become one of the most courageous one-man stands in modern American warfare.
Good afternoon. On my orders, the United States military has begun strikes against al-Qaeda terrorist training camps and military installations of the Taliban regime in Afghanistan. These carefully targeted actions are designed to disrupt the use of Afghanistan as a terrorist base of operations and to attack the military capability of the Taliban regime. We are joined in this operation by our staunch friend, Great Britain.
6 months after Osama bin Laden's attack on the United States, America launched its first major ground offensive of the war. Thousands of U.S. and coalition troops are pushing into a maze of frozen ridges and ravines to crush al-Qaeda and Taliban fighters dug deep into the mountains. On paper, the plan looked simple: seal the valley, smash the ridges, take their fortress. In reality, it was a hornet's nest. Thousands of fanatical, battle-hardened foreign fighters from around the world, holed up in caves and bunkers, ready to die for their cause. Because, as every grunt knows, no plan survives first contact. Into that chaos went a highly tactical recon squad. Codename, Mako 30, SEAL Team 6's Red Team, led by Senior Chief Britt Slabinski. Their mission: seize Takur Ghar, a 10,000-foot peak, and hold overwatch, spot targets, and call in airstrikes for the fight below. Rule number 1 of recon is simple: never land on the objective. Insert offset, move under darkness, and keep the element of surprise. Slabinski argued exactly that, pushing hard for a 24-hour delay to stick with the original plan. But higher command refused. With delays stacking up, dawn closing in, and an AC-130 reporting no heat signatures on the peak, he reluctantly accepted the risk and agreed to land on the summit. The Chinook carrying Mako 30 came in low and flared onto Takur Ghar's icy crest. Instantly, the mountain erupted. Al-Qaeda fighters, entrenched in bunkers with PKMs, Dushkas, and RPGs, unleashed hell. An RPG slammed into the Chinook, tilting it hard at a 45-degree angle. In the chaos, Petty Officer Neil Roberts was thrown from the ramp into the snow as the crippled bird clawed away and made a controlled crash landing miles down the mountain. The team regrouped. The choice they had wasn't really a choice. They were going back for Roberts. Among them was an Air Force combat controller named John Chapman, a quiet professional whose courage would soon define the battle to come. Before the mountain, before the chaos, there was John Chapman. Born in Springfield, Massachusetts, and raised in Windsor Locks, Connecticut, he was the kind of kid who stood up for others, who hated bullies, who lived for the people around him. After high school, he joined the Air Force, not for glory, but for purpose. He started as an information systems technician. But that wasn't him. He wanted something harder, something real. So he went through combat control training, one of the toughest pipelines in the US military, learning to fight, jump, dive, and call in airstrikes with precision that could change the tide of battle. As a combat controller, Chapman wasn't just another operator. He was the eyes and voice of American air power on the ground, the man who turned chaos into coordination. His calm under fire and knack for reading a battlefield made him the kind of teammate every unit wanted beside them when things went bad. By 2002, he was a seasoned operator, a husband, a father of 2 little girls, and a man who carried quiet professionalism like armor. When he deployed to Afghanistan with SEAL Team 6, he wasn't chasing medals. He was doing what he always did, making sure everyone else got home. Mako 30 switched to a new Chinook and volunteered to fly straight back into the fight to bring home Petty Officer Neil Roberts. As soon as they reached Takur Ghar, the mountain erupted again. Heavy machine gun fire tore through the air. The SEALs jumped from the ramp into waist-deep snow, scrambling for cover on a slope as steep as 70 degrees. The enemy owned the high ground. Chapman and the SEALs exit the MH-47 Chinook under fire. John is the second man out, charging straight uphill in waist-deep snow toward the summit of Takur Ghar. In the footage, you can see him breaking off to the right of the screen, moving alone into the fight, while the rest of the SEALs are already taking fire from every direction. Brass spits from his M4 as Chapman lays down fire, pushing upslope through knee-deep snow under a storm of bullets. His team leader, Britt Slabinski, follows his trail, but Chapman's already too far ahead, locked in. Above him sits a fortified bunker, manned by 2 al-Qaeda fighters with AK-47s, raining fire down in the dark. That position will come to be known as Bunker 1. To the left is a jagged rock outcrop, the boulder. Between the two lies the body of Navy SEAL Neil Roberts, the man they came to bring home. Still alone, Chapman keeps moving. His team leader, Britt Slabinski, never quite catches up before Chapman makes a decision that would define him forever. He charges straight into the bunker. Point blank, 10 feet from the enemy, he kills both fighters, saving the rest of the SEAL team. Those actions alone would earn him the Medal of Honor. Now inside the bunker, Chapman holds the position as his team leader finally joins him. Together, they shift fire toward Bunker 2, farther left, manned by Chechen and Uzbek fighters, packing RPGs and a PKM machine gun. Chapman takes 2 rounds to the torso. He collapses, motionless. A new camera angle shows the SEAL team and their leader on top of the boulder. Below them, Bunker 1, where Chapman lies gravely wounded. One SEAL hip-fires his M60 into Bunker 2 until a grenade blast throws him from the rock, crashing down beside his team leader. Outgunned and wounded, the SEALs make the gut-wrenching call to fall back. They move down slope, past Neil Roberts' body, but not Chapman's. He's still alive, bleeding out in Bunker 1. As they slide off the cliff face, desperate calls go out for help. An AC-130 gunship rolls in overhead. You see the mountain light up with 105mm howitzer shells, pounding the ridge to cover the retreat. Chapman is still up there. He's alive and feeling every blast. Around 5:20 a.m., he regains consciousness. Despite massive blood loss and shock, he starts fighting again. One man against roughly 24 enemy fighters. He keys his radio, trying to reach a fellow combat controller and Delta operators on a nearby ridge. They hear him, but he never responds. Whether his radio's shot out or he's just too far gone, no one knows. Thermal footage now shows Chapman again, that green dot under the tree at Bunker 1. At 6:05 a.m., an enemy fighter rushes his position. Chapman cuts him down. He's been fighting alone for over 40 minutes. He's bleeding out, and he refuses to quit. More enemy charge. You see the shapes swarming him. Chapman fights hand to hand, killing at least one with his bare hands and rifle butt. Then, another sound cuts through the wind, a helicopter inbound. A quick reaction force of Rangers, PJs, and another combat controller. It's 6:13 a.m., the sun's up, the mountain's alive with gunfire. Chapman knows what's coming. RPGs aimed at the helo, heavy fire from all sides. He's down to his last magazine. He could stay hidden, but he doesn't. He climbs out of the bunker, into the open, firing in every direction to protect the inbound QRF. A rocket hits the helicopter. It crashes below him, but the crew survives. Chapman keeps fighting, buying them time to escape. He's hit again and again, as many as 16 times before a final round tears through his heart. John Chapman dies fighting. The Rangers charged straight into a storm of machine gun and mortar fire, climbing through 3 feet of snow on a near vertical slope. Hundreds of enemy fighters swarmed the ridge as airstrikes pounded the peaks. Evacuation was impossible until nightfall. By 8 p.m., the battle finally ended. 7 Americans were dead, 12 wounded, and 2 Chinooks destroyed. Roughly 200 enemy fighters were killed. Neil Roberts, the man they came for, had survived the fall from his helicopter, but was executed by al-Qaeda before rescue could reach him. While John Chapman didn't know it, his action saved 23 American lives. The Battle of Takur Ghar was over, but its scars would last for years. 7 Americans were dead, 12 wounded, and 2 helicopters destroyed. What happened on that ridge would become one of the most studied engagements of the entire war in Afghanistan. John Chapman was initially awarded the Air Force Cross, the service's second highest decoration for valor, for his actions that night. At the time, the official reports concluded that he had died before the SEALs withdrew. It wasn't until years later that CIA drone footage surfaced, proving otherwise. The video showed Chapman regaining consciousness, fighting alone for over an hour, and dying while protecting incoming reinforcements. The evidence was undeniable. He had continued the fight after his team believed him gone. That revelation sparked controversy across the military. Some questioned how Chapman had been left behind at all. Others defended the SEALs' decision, citing the chaos, darkness, and overwhelming fire. The truth was brutally simple. Takur Ghar was a nightmare, and every man there fought for his life. The Air Force pushed for Chapman's award to be upgraded. After a detailed review, the Department of Defense agreed. 16 years after the battle, John A. Chapman's Air Force Cross was upgraded to the Medal of Honor.
Congress, the Medal of Honor posthumously to Technical Sergeant John A. Chapman, United States Air Force.
On August 22, 2018, President Donald Trump presented the Medal of Honor to his widow, Valerie, at a White House ceremony. Their daughters, Brianna and Madison, stood beside her as Valerie accepted the medal on his behalf, the nation's highest tribute to a man who gave everything for his teammates. That same year, Senior Chief Britt Slabinski, the SEAL team leader who fought beside Chapman, also received the Medal of Honor for his actions on Takur Ghar. His citation recognized his leadership under fire and the impossible decisions he faced on that mountain. Today, John Chapman's name stands as a symbol of what it means to never quit, to fight until the very end, not for glory, but for the man next to you. If you'd like to support my work in preserving the memories of our American heroes, please drop a like and share your thoughts in the comments. Was John Chapman's decision to fight on alone, wounded, outnumbered, and surrounded, the purest form of courage you've ever heard of? Or was it something even greater? Whatever your view, I want to hear it below. You'll find his official Medal of Honor citation, after-action reports, and declassified sources linked in the description. And if you believe stories like this deserve to be remembered, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got more powerful tales of American grit, courage, and sacrifice on the way. I'm Matt, and this is the American Military Network, where forgotten heroes finally get their due. We'll see you in the next story of American heroism. Thank you for watching, and may God bless America.